Welcome to the podcast Selling Real Estate with Kelly Cook, where we will discuss the latest and most relevant business strategies to help you do one thing extremely well: sell more homes. We'll discuss everything from business planning to lead generation and conversion to past client customer service and everything in between. Join us for authentic conversations and nuts and bolts takeaways you can implement into your business today. And now, Selling Real Estate with Kelly Cook.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Selling Real Estate with Kelly Cook. As always, we do have Kelly Cook here in the building with us today. Kelly, how are you doing?
I'm doing great, Elizabeth. This is fun. We got a great guest today, and we're going to talk some high-level real estate.
Yes, absolutely. So speaking of our guest, we have Rahima here. She is she's a managing partner at KeyGlee. And then she is also starring in a show, Triple Digit Flip, which airs on A&E. They wrapped up a season, a previous season. They're working on season 2 right now. So be on the lookout for that. But she's going to get into a little bit of wholesaler relationships and why those are so important to have as a real estate agent. So I'm excited. Let's get into it.
Yeah, this is awesome. So, in addition to a TV star, right? We have a very, very, very wise person here with a lot of knowledge between her ears that she's going to share here. And I'm excited to dive in here and just find out. And as you guys know, our style here is quick hitting, get right to it, nuts and bolts. Hopefully, an action item that you all can take away from this, and then we'll wrap this thing up. So, without further ado, Rahima, thank you very much for being on here. And if you could. So Yeah. And if you could just give us a little background of yourself and how you got to this industry of real estate, and especially with the niche you're doing.
Sure. Absolutely. Thank you so much, first of all, for having me on the show. I'm really excited to be here. So I am one of the founding managing partners at KeyGlee. Now, not a lot of people know what KeyGlee is. We're going to try to change that. We want to make it as common as like the word Kleenex, right? When you want to buy a house, it's like when you want to blow your nose, you say, achoo, Kleenex. When you want to buy a house, we want you to say KeyGlee, right? Because
That's true.
Really, it should be a household name by the time a couple more years hit. We started it in 2016. We are now selling anywhere between 80 and 100 houses here in our corporate store, which is in Phoenix, Arizona. But we have other corporate stores in other states. But more importantly, we have franchises, and we've sold 103 franchises to date. We've been at it for about a year and a half during COVID. So we really just ramped up now. And I think we're selling an average of 3 or 4 every week. So we're super excited about our franchise sales. And our franchise partners are just amazing. Like, what an amazing group of people.
Wow. Okay. All right. So I want to unpack that. But before we get to that, with our agent community that's listening to the podcast here, they might be thinking, okay, well, I'm trying to help people represent, them in buying and selling real estate.
Sure.
And we've heard this investing thing before, but like with exactly what Rahima does, how does that benefit me?
Okay. So what I actually do for KeyGlee is I'm their project manager for their flips. So I will take a really ugly house and I will turn it into something that is beautiful. Now, some of your agents, I'm guessing, work with investors, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So, what the most important thing when you're working with an investor is to talk about what is going to be the ARV, what's the profit, and how do you look at this space to maximize the money that you're going to make from it? Because that's all the investor cares about. He cares about how much is it going to cost me, what's the rental budget, and what am I going to be able to dispo it for, and how quickly am I going to be able to get rid of it? Right? Those are the big investor questions. As an agent, and when you're representing this buyer in purchasing this property, you need to be able to guide him or her into seeing this property as more than just, let's get in, let's get out. How do you maximize the space that's there and the layout that you can bring into it and make his ARV shoot through the sky? So I'll give you a couple of examples of just 2 houses that we're working on right now. We just finished one that was a 3-bedroom, 1-bathroom in South Phoenix. It's 1027 square feet. So a really tiny house. A 3-1 is a hard sale, right? Nobody wants 1 bathroom in
Right.
So we need to make an extra bathroom using the dead space that's already in this house so that we're not doing any additions because we don't have the time to do additions. And the way that this house is built, we don't want to move electrical panels. We don't want to move gas meters. So we don't want to go outside the footprint of the house. How do we talk to an investor and say, there's a way to bring this bathroom into this house. And so as an agent, you're looking at how do we use this dead space of this closet, or how do we can reconfigure this room so that we can add an extra bathroom in here and make this a 3-2 and get your ARV another 20 or 30,000 higher than what it was if it was a 3-1. Same thing. Yeah, go ahead.
No, so that's really good. I think that's important. The key part that I think everyone should take away from is what's under roof already, right? The dead space. I like that.
Dead space. And that brings me to my second story. We are in the process of working on a house. It has a 25-foot ceiling the minute you walk in the house. Beautiful, right? The first thing you want to do is go, wow, look at that ceiling. But honestly, it's dead space. It's a 2-story house. So we went up the stairs and we built a mezzanine. So the lower level still has a nice 9-foot ceiling, but then we split it up and we have another 200 square feet, which in today's market is like $300 a square foot. That's $60,000 that we found in that house. And we didn't make a single addition. We didn't change the footprint. We just kept it all under roof. No permits, no additions, no nothing, just using the space you have. And as an agent, when you're talking to an investor, that's what they want to see. They want to see that you're excited about redefining this space to make them maximum money.
Man, that is so true. Because you know what? We live in Arizona and that dead space is expensive with that AC bill.
Yeah, absolutely. You're just, you've nailed it, right? Because you're like, initially you're thinking, wow. And then you're thinking, whoa, like what is it going to cost to cool this space down?
Wow. Okay. Yeah, this is good stuff. All right. So I like those 3 things. ARV, like what's it going to sell for, right? Once you're doing your work, how much is that work going to cost, right? Therefore, what your profit could be. And then how long? Time. Yep. Those 3 things are huge.
Huge. My brother only ever gives me between 30 and 45 days to finish a house. Like he's relentless.
That's quick.
That's quick. Yeah. And not only finish one house, I have to finish one house in the first 30 days. And then every 2 weeks, I have to give him another house.
Wow.
And I do that for 6 months and give him 10 houses. So he's a monster and he wants me to be a monster alongside him.
That's awesome. Got somebody pushing, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, I don't expect your agents to want to work that fast, but it can be done.
Yeah, definitely. Now, if someone's walking through, and this is kind of new to them, right? And they might have some investor clients or even for themselves, because side note, guys, I always talk about try to be the principal first, right? You're the first one as the agent to see the deal most of the times. And if you have a way to offer a solution to that seller by being the principal, whether that means you use your money or KeyGlee's money or anyone else's money, think of that way first, okay? Now, that being said, if you're walking through the house and your investor client or yourself goes, you know what would the ARV be on this thing if we fix it up? And you could probably figure that out because you know how to run comps. Okay, cool. However, what if they go, yeah, but Rahima, can you give me a quick and down and dirty rule of thumb for how much it might cost to fix up this property if I don't have time because maybe there's 75,000 offers on the property, whatever, to bring my contractor in?
Yeah. So good rule of thumb would be between $25 and $30 a square foot for any house that you think you're going to sell for under 500,000. And then bump that up between $30 and $45 a square foot for any house that you're going to sell after 500,000 up to $1 million.
Got it. Okay. Now, do you guys
real easy, quick and easy, dirty one to figure that out?
That's awesome. That's awesome. Do you have one above $1 million?
I don't, because I don't usually do a flip that's over $1 million. And there's a reason why I don't.
Okay.
People who want to buy a house that's over $1 million want a very specific house. And so you're going to flip this house, but they're looking to spend over $1 million. So they're like, well, why is there not a coffee maker in my primary closet? Like there should be a coffee maker here. And why did they use this style of appliances rather than this style of appliances? And so that becomes too specific and the house sits on the market for too long.
That's so true. That is so true. As someone who helps people in that price range, right? Myself, that's very true. So good point. All right. So you mentioned something when we first spoke about relationships, right? What kind of relationships? Why is that important? What could they be doing, agents, to build those relationships? Oh my God.
There's one word in this. It's collaboration. I mean, we as agents, we are never taught how to collaborate with one another. We are always taught how to compete with one another. And the minute we get out of the mindset of competition and we start thinking about collaboration, we will succeed as an industry, right? Because we are not working together. Look, you and I can't buy every deal. We know that. So how about we throw some out there and start building relationships with other agents where when they can't close on that deal, when they can't be the principal, they don't have a seller, they call you and say, hey, I have a house for you to dispo. And then all of a sudden you start working in a network and things become bigger and greater for everybody. But we're very rarely taught that.
Got it. Okay. I love that. A couple more questions for you here. So what about wholesaling to the wholesaler? So so the agent, because this happens a lot too, right? The agent sees a deal and they don't have the wherewithal or funds, whatever, to take it down. There's no commission being offered. The seller's like, I hate real estate agents, right? Or whatever, but they will let you buy it for, $200,000. And you're sitting there going, okay, but I can't fix and flip this. I don't have the money or no wherewithal, but I don't have an end buyer either.
Yeah, just call me. Guys, just call me. So the best thing is you want to get that house tied up, right? You want to get it under contract. You want to say, okay, look, you're going to sell me your house for $200,000. As an agent, it's worth $4 renovated. You know that, but you're like, okay, I got this under $2. So you call a wholesaler and you say, I'm an agent. I'm not getting a commission. I'm going to need you to take care of me at escrow, right? And it's all on the up and up because you are disclosing that you're an agent. It's going to go through your brokerage and it's going to happen through escrow. You get cut your commission. So I might say, hey, I have this house at 210. I got an agent. He's going to give me this house at 210. He's got it at 2. I'm taking it at 210. I'm going to pump it out at 220. Everybody makes their money. There's still $170,000 on that bone for an investor to go and do his deal and renovate the house and sell it. And he'll make, the lion's share of the profit, as he should, because he's doing all the work and everybody's happy. So agents never shy away from that. Because you don't have a way to dispo it yourself, call the wholesalers. Don't call anybody. Just call KeyGlee.
Exactly. Call KeyGlee.
Call KeyGlee and be like, hey, KeyGlee, I got a deal for you.
Yeah, no, seriously, because the reality is like if you and here's the thing too, is you might have an end buyer that you're like, oh, this guy's going to buy this house for sure, right? This investor, and then you have it at 200, and you pitch it to him for 210 or 220 or whatever, and he goes, nah. So you think it can't be done, but the reality is if you go to KeyGlee, the buyer list is like 1,000 times bigger, so 10,000 times bigger. So chances are they have somebody who might want to buy it.
Absolutely. And they're also dealing with people who are not just looking for a quick flip. So there's a lot of people that are buy and holds. So even though you don't see, hey, there's not much meat on this bone, that doesn't matter to everybody. A lot of our investors are buy and holders. So they're looking to get in at a good price, fix it up, and then rent it.
Love it. Okay. So I know there was a secret sauce that Josiah, one of your co-founders, partners had, and it's called, I believe it's called Astro Flipping. Is that correct?
Sure. Yeah. And actually the face of Astro Flipping is my brother, Jamil.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I don't think anyone's really heard about that, what that is in the marketplace, except for anyone who, of course, has contacted KeyGlee. But sure. Can you give us the nuts and bolts on that?
Well, I mean, Jamil is fantastic, right? He's the main reason I'm actually on that show is I just want to spend more time with my brother. And I say that all the time when people are like, hey, how do you like being on a TV show? I'm like, it's fine. But, I get to hang out with my brother and that's what makes the most, that's why I do it for me.
That's awesome.
And I think that he'd probably say the same thing because we're close. We've always been business partners, and to have an opportunity to hang out and spend time with each other every day is a luxury for us. But he's definitely that one out there talking about Astro Flipping, and that's wholesaling in a nut. And he teaches you how to comp. He teaches you how to get into the right mindset of looking at a house. He talks and teaches about collaboration. All the words that I've used here today are, part of Astro Flipping's message, and being able to generate wealth and never having to use your own money that way.
That's awesome. Yeah. What a great, that's what wholesaling is, right?
That's what it is. I mean, Josiah coming up with that course and then teaming up with Jamil and getting it out there was really something.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, taking time to write those systems and brand it something, right? This cool name, Astro Flipping, right? I mean, what is it? What is it? Something new, right?
Absolutely.
Okay, a couple more questions here. So you mentioned earlier about the franchises, right, with KeyGlee. So if somebody wanted to potentially buy a franchise, right, you said you're selling 3 to 4 or something like a week. Like this is interesting. This is intriguing. How?
So you'd contact KeyGlee. You'd come in for what's called a discovery week. So you'd actually get to know what it means to own a KeyGlee franchise. And then if you're game and you're ready to sign on the dotted line, you come back for a launch week where you learn about all the systems, about what's required for you to do it. Because it's not just about, hey, I bought this franchise and now I'm going to hire somebody and they're going to make sandwiches and I'm going to make $1 million. It's not that kind of franchise. It's going to take time and effort. It's going to take repetition, making those calls, making sure that you're following through with your relationships with your buyers, with your sellers, because we're going to set you up to succeed. But at the end of the day, it's really up to you to succeed, right? So if you've got the wherewithal to do it, you will do well. I think I was reading on the Slack channel last week that one of our Florida branches, which is a fairly new franchise for us, they netted $92,000 last month, which is stellar, like just fantastic. Wow.
Okay, so and then if they buy one in a certain market, is it protected? It's the only one.
Yes.
Within how many mile radius?
I believe it's 500,000 people.
Okay. So you guys basically give them the playbook and they have to execute.
Yep.
Okay. And the coaching and all that. Now, what's just, if you can share, I mean, if you want to, what's the cost or is it vary or?
They run at $100,000 for the franchise. Okay. And then the royalty fees are 15% of your gross.
Of your gross. Mm-hmm. Okay, so you just factor that as a line item on the pro forma, and then away you go.
Correct.
Awesome. Well, this is really cool. Okay, so last question we always have is if you could give somebody who's a real estate agent, right, or some real estate professional, one piece of advice, something they could maybe go out and actually do as an action item today or tomorrow, this week, what would you encourage them or advise them to do?
Call people.
Oh, what a great one.
Call other agents. Call other agents and say, hey man, I got a group of investors that are looking for deals, or I'm looking for deals. What do you got? Can we sit down for a minute? Look, nobody has time for coffee. Can you FaceTime me? Can I just lay eyes on you? Can you lay eyes on me? Can we lock eyes and say, hey, let's try to work together? What are you doing? What how can I learn from you? How can you learn from me? Let's work together. Let's collaborate. But pick up the phone and call people all day long.
The big R word, right? Relationships.
Yes. Always be calling. That's what ABC actually is, right? Always be calling. Call people. Pick up the phone and call people.
Glenn Gary, Glenn Ross. Love it.
There you go.
All right. Awesome. Well, I know, Elizabeth, I think I'm good here. This is hard hitting. This is good.
This was great. So we, again, really appreciate you coming on with us. And if anybody has any questions for you or they have any deals for you, they need your help, where can they reach you?
I think the best way to reach me would be through my email at rahima@keyglee.com. And that's RAHIMA @KeyGlee, which is key, what you put in the door, KEY, Glee, GLEE.com.
Perfect. Thank you for spelling that too, because I wasn't sure, and I love that spelling.
Love it.
Awesome. Great. And then Kelly, as always, if anybody wants to contact you for any questions, where can they reach you?
Yeah, absolutely. On my cell, text or call, love it. 480-227-2028 or info@kellycookhomes.com.
Perfect. And then lastly, before we hop off, I do want to remind everybody, if you are looking to build a real estate team and you need some plans to do it, you need somewhere to start, please go to buildyourrealestateteam.com. Kelly has so very kindly written down all of the steps for you that he has tried and that he has succeeded with. So go ahead and go get yourself that plan there. Other than that, guys, that's a wrap for today. Thank you so much for being here again. And we will see you all next week.
Awesome.
Love it. Guys, Rahima, thank you so much. You were awesome.
You're so much fun. Thank you so much.
All right. Take care.
Welcome to the podcast Selling Real Estate with Kelly Cook, where we will discuss the latest and most relevant business strategies to help you do one thing extremely well: sell more homes. We'll discuss everything from business planning to lead generation and conversion to past client customer service and everything in between. Join us for authentic conversations and nuts and bolts takeaways you can implement into your business today. And now, Selling Real Estate with Kelly Cook.